Partnered by Times Influence.
The third annual conference of the Axis Bank Foundation was organized to focus on the unified goal that aims to provide sustainable livelihoods. The conference kicked off with the opening address by Shikha Sharma, MD and CEO of Axis Bank.
This is a special day for Axis. This is the year that we complete 25 years of existence. It's also the year in which we have launched on the 11th year of the Axis Foundation. And in 2011, we took an audacious goal, or what seemed like an audacious goal at that point of time, touching 1 million households over a 5-year period. We are delighted that we hit that goal last year. And even when we set the goal, what I think we did differently at that point of time, now of course many foundations are doing that, is we said, what do we as a business bring to the table that we manage to goals? So let's set ourselves some goals and some metrics and manage to that. So we will do an impact assessment of every initiative we take in terms of, are we able to help increase incomes by more than 2 times with a target of 85,000 per year per household, and we should actually do a baseline study and a study after 2 years to see whether that has happened. And I'm delighted that actually we've been able to achieve that and more than achieve that. So the 1 million households that we have touched have seen an income impact increase of more than 2 times. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Babu for having set us on the journey. Without you, it would never have gotten started, and you make us all proud.
The lighting of the lamp ceremony was performed by the chief guest, Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis, along with the MD and CEO of Axis Bank Shikha Sharma and the trustees of the Axis Bank Foundation. This was followed by the inaugural address by the chief guest.
At the outset, I would like to congratulate Axis Bank Foundation for contributing meaningfully in the lives of 1 million households. To set a goal is very important, but to reach a goal, to hit a goal, is more important. And I think this goal that in next 5 years you would like to achieve 1 million houses more, 2 million houses more, I think I must congratulate you. I think you should clap for yourself. You should give applause for yourself. So it is a goal which is going to transform the country. One single entity is aiming to make the income double for 2 million households is something I think really worth congratulating. From Government of Maharashtra, I would like to extend you my all best wishes, and I would also like to add at this point that in any such endeavor, we are ready to partner with you. We are ready to add our machinery with you. We are ready to align and set our programs so as to accelerate all your programs. Maybe if we come together, you have now decided 2 million, it can become 4 million, and we can set a new record. Let us join together and achieve the sustainable development goals for India, Maharashtra. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Next up was the keynote address by innovator and education reformist Sonam Wangchuk.
I was very excited when I heard from the Axis Bank Foundation about this conference and the significance of it, celebrating sustainable development in rural India, generating 1 million livelihoods. I was truly impressed and was excited to come and see and experience and learn and share a bit of my story also. I really think that this foundation, which did its charitable work or corporate social responsibility even before there was a law requiring corporates to do that, is remarkable. That's an expression of the dedication towards these goals. And I think these are examples we need in the nation today, because corporate social responsibility is not a luxury, but it's a duty to the nation. It's not only corporate social responsibility, but individual social responsibility to bring up the rest of our country. To end it, I will say that people should make money in their lives to make their lives secure, their families secure, healthy, and happy. But then at some point, there comes a time when more of wealth doesn't bring more of happiness. Then the law of diminishing returns takes over. It's that point when we should start doing it for others. In my case, that time came when I was 21. In your case, you can decide when that time has come. And similarly, for corporates also, you should make all the money to make your business grow, but then there comes a time when your success is rated more by your impact around than by the balance sheet alone. Thank you very much.
The first panel discussion was on the topic Partnerships and SDGs, Shared Action for Shared Prosperity. The panelists were Amit Chandra, Managing Director of Bain Capital India; Arun Maira, former member of the Planning Commission; S. Ramudarai, Chairman of the Axis Bank Foundation; and Praveen Singh Pardesi, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Maharashtra. The panel was moderated by ET Now's Aisha Faridi.
Mr. Maira, if I could start with you. India clearly has played a very, very key role in contributing to SDGs. And that has also in some way been mirrored in our national development goals. Would you say that we've been a success so far?
No, we haven't. That's why we needed sustainable development goals. We are far behind where we should be. You mentioned about how we individually can be more responsible, but it starts with us as individuals caring for others and caring for the condition of people who are not as privileged as we are. But what the Sustainable Development Goals say, and it's very important, it starts with number 1, no poverty, and of course we have the concern in India and elsewhere. It says goal number 10, less inequality. Well, poverty means no incomes, and if you have more incomes, there's less poverty. And if the incomes of those at the bottom rise faster than the incomes of those at the top, there'll be less inequality. Please, let's come to the last goal, number 17, which is about partnerships. All the challenges in the 17 goals are about the environment, about the conditions of societies. These are issues of the commons, as they call them. They cannot be addressed by individuals. So it requires cooperation and collective action. And why is it that we are not getting, even when there are individuals who care, not enough cooperation and collective action? That's where the solution lies.
But Mr. Ramudarai, since you're at the helm at Axis Foundation, the transition from MDGs to SDGs is what, over 2 years old now? Would you say it's been a success so far? What is the transition been like?
See, when you look at within the Axis Bank Foundation, at the end of the day, what is the impact is what we want to look at. When they talk about 1 million livelihoods, and then scaling it to 2 million households, it's a phenomenal contribution in terms of impact on the ground. Second point is the beneficiaries in terms of whom we touched and who made an impact, who were impacted, When you go and meet with them in the remotest part of the country, Shikha also mentioned, all of us in the foundation have gone to the remotest locations. You see the income levels go up, you see the output in terms of the market connect, etc. With the result, we are in the right direction, but is 1 million or a 2 million household enough? The answer is absolutely no. The scale of the problem in our nation is anything you touch out of the 17 SDGs, it's mind-boggling. So I think each individual collectively in a collaborative manner with partnership is going to scale it up, and that's what we say even in the skills ecosystem.
Amit, how would you rate the progress so far on a scale of 1 to 5?
In terms of movement towards sustainable development goals, I think we are at a very, very nascent stage. I think we've just about made a beginning. On a scale of 0 to 5, I think we are probably at 1.
Would you concur that this process and this journey is just at a very, very premature stage and we've just begun on it?
I would agree that we are very much below in terms of actual delivery. It's a privilege that in this meeting you hear somebody like Mr. Wangchuk, who's converted what we have as a concept to action on the ground, which affects real people's lives for the better. So that's the real thing. In Maharashtra, we have something called the Village Social Transformation Foundation, which we set up, which Axis Bank is a very important contributor financially also, not just from the talk point of view. So in terms of looking at everything, that we have a framework, we monitor it at the international level, there's a huge bureaucracy. And everybody knows that when we have a framework like this, it only translates into salaries for more number of people, very big salaries for all of us. So we look at these frameworks in the UN Secretariat as what it means for us. Very much very opposite of what somebody like Mr. Wangchuk is talking about in terms of what we give back. So giving back is really down at the village level.
The government, the private sector and the civil society, all three entities have to become one stream. Is that collaboration possible or is it already happening?
No, is it already happening? I think yes, but it's like a minuscule. It's a trickle. Good news is there are enough. You'll find examples of it. In education, we've got Ashoka University, which has got built. Mr. Wangchuk should look at that model. A few of us have got together. And your dream of raising 150 crores is absolutely possible. A few of us have raised 800 crores to build a world-class university in Sonipat. So you can raise 150 crores to build a world-class university in Ladakh, I can assure you. Ram runs SRCC Children's Hospital. A bunch of us have got together to build a world-class children's hospital opposite Haji Ali. So I think there are examples of multiple people getting together and building things now, which earlier on only single large families or corporations did.
I have time only for 2 quick questions from the audience for any of our panelists.
I run an NGO and it's over a period of time. The non-business, the non-core part takes up a lot of time. The compliances, the regulatory framework, all that stuff is increasing more. So can we think of like we have an ease of doing business? Can we have an ease of doing development?
Again, that's a very big area. This whole trusts and most NGOs are registered as charity trusts. And Maharashtra Charity Act had not been changed for 50 years. It was one of the really bad ones. I think Tata Trusts know about it. Yeah. They have faced the brunt of it, not the goodness of it. So this Chief Minister, what he did is, many things. One is change report, how soon it can be done. If there's no objection, it is done automatically. Then getting all these permissions online and doing it. So all of these things we are doing, but still very much in the process of being done. So I wouldn't be able to say offhand that the things would be deregulated. We can identify areas which are pain points. On the Charity Act, we have identified all the pain points, and the amended act is already in place.
On that note, we're completely out of time, so I'm going to have to wind up this very interesting panel. And I know it's going to be a long while before the full successful implementation of SDGs, but the heart is in the right place. I think that's been the takeaway from today's panel. Thank you so much.
The second panel discussion was on the topic Empowering a Million Livelihoods, and the journey continues. The panelists were C. Babu Joseph, former Executive Trustee and CEO, Axis Bank Foundation; K. Anil Kumar, former Executive Trustee and CEO, Axis Bank Foundation; and Jacob Ninan, Executive Trustee and CEO, Axis Bank Foundation. This panel was moderated by Santosh Jairam, Partner and Head Sustainability and CSR Advisory at KPMG.
What was the thought process behind in terms of setting up this particular vision? Why did you pick up some of these elements into the vision, and who were behind it? What was the actual thought process? When you put it across, how much confident were you there? Can you just share some lights into it?
Axis Bank Foundation was set up in 2006. It was then UTI Bank Foundation. And initially we were working in the field of education. And in 2010, we decided to have a relook at our area of focus, whether we should look at something different. And we went around the country to explore the opportunities and the need. And what struck us was that huge disparity between the haves and the have-nots. And then it struck us that perhaps we should have a relook at the area where we should work on. And that's when we came across this idea of the creation of sustainable livelihoods. So this was shared with the top management of Axis Bank. And again, the question will come, who decided the number? But it was decided that we should, being a corporate, we should work towards a target. That gives us the spirit, the real dynamism to work. So we took an audacious target. It looked very audacious, extremely overambitious at that time, to create 1 million sustainable livelihoods. Because we were earlier dealing in hundreds of participants. The program would reach out to 100 people or 200 people. And this was a significant jump from what we were used to. It was something that shocked all of us to even think of trying something like this. But we felt there was no harm in trying. And in Axis Bank, we have this culture that targets are to be achieved. You set a target, you have to achieve.
It would be interesting to listen to you, Anil sir, in terms of that trust. How did you bring it out? Because it is, during your time, the maximum number of the partnerships happened. So how did you develop that trust?
To be frank, life was made easy for me by Babu. He had entered into partnership with sizable number of partners. My job was actually to build on the solid foundation that Babu had provided. It was a difficult task for me to emulate Babu's style of engaging with partners. But I ensured, to the best of my ability, that the trust factor, was respected to the highest degree.
It's kind of very important in terms of going on from here. He said that emulating him was difficult, and you were kind of succeeding both of them in terms of taking it over. So was there anything else which you were getting into, or you had all the learnings for you to start it?
I had a good platform thanks to these two gentlemen sitting besides me.
Yeah.
They had created the right platform, right partnership, right alignments with the partnership partners. The trust was already there. What we believed in is, as Mr. Babu Joseph rightly said, not a donor-donee relationship. It was about being in a family together.
Right.
Today we were having a session with some of our partners. This was what we, both the teams, this is the ABF partner family.
Right.
So that was built in not now. It was built in ab initio from the day one. So that is the biggest strength. And my job is easier in that sense. But I also realized that each of our partners have their core strengths. There could be different strengths from each of the partners. We will have to play to their strengths rather than taking our agenda to the community. So it's a win-win for both the partners. Also, I would like to sort of applaud the program design that was built in by ABF. Our money did not go to the community as doles. We were not there to do that.
Yeah.
Our money, most of our money went in strengthening the organization, capacity building, institutionalizing this framework. So that's where the leverage helped.
Any of the Axis Bank people also who have worked with them and you want to ask a question to all three of them, please be ready.
You know, one challenge I think that there is in most institutions, and certainly in the development sector, is they say, you know, a great founder creates it and carries on and on and on, building a leadership.
Yes.
So that the thing can scale. Otherwise, that becomes a limitation. So is there some lesson here about how leaders are built and developed?
I think this is a problem that I've seen very much in the sector. It is very often individual driven. And if something were to happen to that one particular individual, it could have a very significant impact on the organization. To bring about change, there are wonderful examples of organizations that have been able to bring about change also. I don't want to give names. There are organizations when the leadership is by rotation. They take up a leadership role for 4 or 5 years and then they themselves choose their successor.
Good round of applause for whatever these three gentlemen has achieved and all the best wishes for the future achievements to you as well.
It gives me immense pleasure standing before you to thank each one of you for making this a successful and a memorable event. I'm sure the discussions and the insights shared by the panelists and the speakers today would have helped strengthen the interconnectedness between the private sector, the public sector, government, civil society in our action for shared prosperity.
Partnered by Times Influence.